When I think of up-and-coming areas of Denton, Texas, the southwest corner doesn't usually come to mind. But out here off I-35W and Robson Ranch Road, something big is happening. This land, once used as a hideout by the outlaw Sam Bass back in the 1870s, is about to become one of the most ambitious master plan communities that Denton has ever seen. It's called Landmark by Hillwood, and this isn't your typical suburban sprawl. Stick with me to the end and I'll tell you about a fun surprise we're hoping that this community can pull off. For now, let's take a closer look at what's happening and how this could change Denton forever. Situated on I-35W and Robson Ranch Road, this 3,200-acre community is going to be fully integrated into Denton. The goal of Landmark by Hillwood is definitely to honor the city's identity because Denton is a very unique city compared to a lot of the cities that surround it. And speaking of location and the cities that do surround Denton, Texas, Denton is about 40 minutes from either Fort Worth or Dallas. And this community, Landmark, will be about 30 minutes from the DFW International Airport, which is a really big deal for those that are commuting. So right here off I-35W, we also have two other communities that are built by Hillwood. Hillwood does an amazing job with their master plan communities. You've got Pecan Square and Harvest that will be just a little bit further south of Landmark, but those are not in the city of Denton. So Landmark will be in an area that us Dentonites know as Pilot Knob. So Pilot Knob is actually the highest point in Denton County, and back in the day it was used as a wayfinder and it anchors this space. There are also two other knobs, and we'll talk about those a little bit later. So while this is a 3,200-acre community, it's not going to be 3,200 acres of completely built out houses and retail. About 900 acres will be commercial and retail. And what's really special about this is a lot of times when big master plan communities like Hillwood come in, it takes up to 5 years for the retail spaces to start filling in. But that won't be the case here in Landmark. From day one, there will be retail that is already up and coming. Leases are already being signed as we speak. And one thing that we are super excited about, and is going to be a really big deal, not only for Landmark and the people that live there, but for the entire city of Denton, is that H-E-B, an amazing grocery store chain that's very popular in the south area of Texas that has finally made its way north here, H-E-B will actually be anchored and on the corner of the Landmark community. So here's what makes Landmark by Hillwood different from the communities that they already have in other cities. The developers of Landmark truly desire for this community to be fully integrated into the city of Denton. So I mentioned Pecan Square and Harvest that are just up the road or down the road from Landmark. Those are built in cities that are still developing. There's still a lot of houses being built there. But Denton is about 159 years old. So it is a very, very established city. There's not a lot of space for growth or for more communities like this. So for Landmark by Hillwood to come into Denton is really a big deal. And so it'll be a little bit different than other communities in the sense that it'll definitely be Denton. It'll feel like Denton. And their goal is to keep it with that weird, quirky Denton vibe and Denton culture. So all in all, there will be about 6,000 homes in Landmark. It will take about 20 to 30 years for this project to be fully completed. So it will go at a fairly steady, slow pace. There will be 9 amazing builders that we already know, like, and trust in the community of Landmark. You've got MI Homes, American Legend, Drees, David Weekley, Coventry, Perry, Highland Homes, and also Toll Brothers will be in this community. Prices as of now will start around the mid 400s and go up to $1 million. So what I love about communities like this is that you've got a very wide range of prices here. So you can enter in this community at $450,000, $475,000, and you get the same amenities as everyone else. Speaking of amenities, Landmark is going to have a lot of amenities to choose from, something for everyone. There will be a full-time on-site event planner, event coordinator, and we've already heard of some of the events that they're going to have, and it's going to be amazing. So if you know anything about Denton, it's full of festivals, full of events. We've got the 31 days of Halloween. I talk about that in one of my other videos. And so they're going to incorporate a lot of the events that Denton has into this community. They are planning on having 2 elementary schools and 1 middle school as well. Now that will take a little bit of time, but every phase, this is something that's really cool and really interesting about Landmark and different from other communities that they've done. So every phase that they have is going to have what's called a STEAM park. So STEAM stands for science, technology, engineering, art, and math. So there will be multiple phases in this community, and every single one will have its own STEAM park. And another thing that's really cool about this is a lot of those parks, they're public access. In fact, there will also be a city park in Landmark. So because these STEAM parks are public access, not only will the public have access to them, you could take your family there, you could take your kids there, you could go for a nature walk on all the multiple trails they're going to have, the pond, the lake, an outdoor amphitheater. But Denton ISD will also be able to utilize these STEAM park for their students. Think field trips, nature field trips, and things like that. So speaking of parks, I talked about the 3 knobs. So there's the Pilot Knob, which is the really big one, and then there's 2 other ones. So those have already been put into a conservation easement. So those are not going to be bulldozed down. They're not going to develop on those knobs, which is a great thing. But they will incorporate those knobs into part of the 1,100 acres of nature, which is going to be your parks, trails, ponds, and things like that. So you will actually get to explore all those knobs, which I think is really cool because just growing up as a kid, I remember driving by and seeing those knobs and just how cool they were, and knowing that Sam Bass, this famous outlaw, actually hid out there. That's pretty cool. So when it comes to this outdoor space, the hiking, biking, and nature trails, it's going to be a 300-acre park with interconnected trails and 32 miles of hiking and biking trails. That is huge. So what is the timeline of all of this? Well, they've already broken ground. The bulldozers are already moving dirt. So the timeline right now is about February 2026, we'll see the models start to be built. So model homes should be open around February 2026. And HEB will be opening in 2026 as well. So I know what a lot of people are thinking. What about the infrastructure that's around it, the highways, the service roads? How is all that going to get worked out? Well, I will tell you that Hillwood has been in extensive meetings and conversations with TxDOT, because TxDOT is the one that controls those roads out there. So they are working on it. They are planning on getting all of that developed, but that will take a little bit of time. And one thing I do want to point out, when you have neighborhoods like this that are just coming into community, and this is something you're really highly considering, a couple of things. It can take several months for houses to be built, especially from dirt. So think about that. If you're wanting to be in this area quickly, then now is the time to really start thinking about it, researching it, reaching out to us, asking us what it's really like to live there. And then number 2, getting in a community like this from the beginning, you are getting introductory home prices. We go to new communities all the time, and they really do have introductory prices at the very beginning of phase 1. And then every few months or every few weeks, as they sell more and more lots, those prices do increase. So it is important to get in at the beginning to get the incentives and to get the better home prices. Because remember, you have one opportunity to lock in a home price. And as always, if you're looking to make a move to the North Dallas or North Fort Worth area, whether it's 3 days or 3 years, I'm Jennifer Fowler, and I'd love to be your realtor of choice. Have a great day, and I'll see you on this video right here.